In the heart of Bogotá, Colombia stands a structure built not just of concrete and steel, but of raw, unrelenting fear. This is Cárcel La Modelo, a prison designed to contain chaos, but where instead, chaos found a home, grew, and took control. For decades, this place was a microcosm of Colombia's brutal civil conflicts, a terrifying reflection of the war raging outside its walls. Inside, invisible lines, more real than any physical barrier, divided the prison population. Left-wing guerrilla fighters from FARC and ELN occupied one wing, while their sworn enemies, right-wing paramilitaries from the AUC, controlled another. The prison wasn't just a holding facility, it was a strategic battlefield. Each cell block became a sovereign territory, each corridor a contested border. For the thousands of common criminals caught in the middle, every single day was a terrifying gamble with death. The guards, they didn't run La Modelo. Their primary goal was to survive it. The prison was saturated with weapons, smuggled in with astonishing ease. We're not just talking about makeshift knives. We're talking about guns, grenades, and even explosives. The inmates weren't just locked up. They were armed and organized. Power wasn't held by the state, but by the warlords who commanded their cell block armies. They controlled everything from the flow of drugs and money to the very breath of their rivals. For years, rumors swirled about the horrors within, but it was until a massive riot in 2000 that the world began to understand the true scale of the violence. The battle was so intense that investigators later discovered a scene from a nightmare. They found dismembered human remains clogging the prison's sewer system. A grim testament to the disposal methods used to hide killings. They unearthed secret tunnels, dug between rival wings, designed for surprise attacks and assassinations. La Modelo wasn't a prison, it was a slaughterhouse. Many inmates simply vanished. Their names disappeared from the official records. Their families left with no answers, no bodies, only sickening whispers. Stories circulated about what happened in the dark, forgotten corners of the prison, in the drainage systems beneath the floors, in places where screams were absorbed by thick concrete and forgotten. These weren't just prison fights. They were systematic executions and disappearances, part of a shadow war fought far from public view. Human rights organizations labeled La Modelo one of the most dangerous prisons on the planet. Journalists who dared to report on it described a place where death had its own grim routine. Outside the gates, families gathered daily, their faces etched with anxiety, praying that their sons, husbands, and fathers would survive another night in the inferno. The waiting was a form of torture in itself, a constant state of suspense. Over the years, the Colombian government made several attempts to reform the prison and regain control. They conducted raids, transferred inmates, and tried to dismantle the armed structures. But the culture of violence was too deeply embedded. The walls themselves seemed to hold the memory of every massacre, every execution, every desperate struggle for power in a place where human life had little value. The echoes of its bloody past were impossible to silence. To this day, La Modelo stands as a chilling symbol of Colombia's most violent era, a concentrated version of the nation's armed conflict confined within a single building. It's a stark reminder that for many, the war never ended. It just moved indoors, becoming more brutal and more personal. The prison represents a place where violence became the primary language, and survival was a privilege earned one day at a time. It's a real-world nightmare, built brick by brick, a monument to the darkness that can fester when a society turns on itself.